Welcome to 90 Seconds Plus with Invercargill City Mayor Nobby and this is our Christmas edition as we've done previously. So it's a bit of a laugh, a look back at the year, and we'll take it from there. So Merry Christmas, Nobby. So what's the story?
Yeah, well, it's been a tough old year.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to having a nice bit of quiet food tomorrow, and not even actually having a meal at home tomorrow. And we're gonna go into the Kelvin and have one of their meals because we don't have much family around this year. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody else is in the same spirit.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it should be good. It's a good break, I think, for everybody to come together, families and cousins, and for a couple of hours. Some people do a day or two, and then that's enough. Some stay longer. But so let's look back at the year. So this time last year, you were almost leaving the planet, but you came back.
I am. Yes, I survived the Grim Reaper's bloody sickle, as it were. No, it's been a tough year on a personal level and on a council level.
Yeah.
So on a personal level, having open heart surgery is a tough game. Probably came back too early.
Yeah.
And came back right in the middle of those codes of conduct,
Yes.
which were an absolute stitch up by the players involved.
Yes.
So a couple of my colleagues have some accountability there,
Yeah.
as does some of the staff for the way I think they processed the second one. And it just got out a life of its own, which is sad really because it took away the energy from other stuff that we needed to do. But having said that, we've had some good stuff this year, some really good stuff. So for aim's sake, we've kept the museum on track.
Yep.
Some would have had us withdraw away and look at other buildings or cut down the cost so that our end product wasn't so good.
Yep.
But we've made a commitment that this is going to be a really outstanding venue for the next 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been really hard work.
Yep.
Hard work with the Storage Trust, which has been in the media recently.
Yes.
Hard work with some of my colleagues that would have us back away. But we will definitely get there, and that building will be done by December next year.
Yeah.
So that's huge. But we've also got a lot of good work going on with Jeff Thompson around his hotel and Walking Place, and that'll be stunning as well.
Oh, that's going to look great.
Yeah,
That's
it
finished.
really is. Yeah. So they're good things that adds to what we've already done in the city. And we kept our rates this year relatively low compared to others, not as low as I would want it. But so we've done reasonably well.
Yeah.
Really have. And internally, we still hang there as a team. We have some factions splintering off a little bit sometimes, but that's the nature of democracy.
Yeah, I have to say that the factions this term aren't like they were previously, and I think that's because we've removed a couple of councillors from last term, and this term certainly is a lot more positive. Yeah. I know there's been some hiccups, but when the team's working together, it seems to flow really good. A lot of stuff gets done.
Well, you can see a couple of weeks ago we had the issue about the Bluff wastewater consenting. That is huge. That's way the biggest issue that we'll ever consult on as councils. Yeah. We talk about the museum and an overrun of costs there, maybe 13 million, but we'll get that funded. The big issue is wastewater. Yeah. It's huge right throughout the country. They're predicting that if we discharge it all to land, which is what iwi would generally want, we're talking $40 billion. Well, it bankrupt the country. Yeah. So we've been able to keep the lid on that. I've been able to do some work with some very senior ministers in cabinet, the RMA ministers, to make sure that they give us another 2 years to consider where we go to with this, and there's new standards coming out. Yep. So that's really big for us. So we've spent nothing in Bluff now on that, on that wetland stuff, which potentially was $15 to $20 million. Yeah. And so we just don't need that. Yep. We don't need to be increasing debt at a time when we are still struggling.
Oh, things are still tight out there.
They really are. Yep. Yeah, and look, the government's done its cuts. Yep. It's got inflation back to, I think, 2.2 now. Yep. The banks are dropping the mortgages, and some councils are going in the other direction. Yep. Well, we're not going to be one of those. So we've done our hard yards, and next year is going to be a real challenge.
I'd say the biggest problem the last few months has been, and it has been, and it needs to be called out. Your council does need called out over the mismanagement of the management of the roading that's been done. There's no collusion. They send detours back into Roadworks. I mean, what does the roading people do?
Look, this is an opportunity in the spirit of Christmas to say, listen, you need to get a scooter so that you can bike from wherever you live up in the northeast side of town. You can scooter to work. This fixation you've got about cones on the roads. You'll see over on my desk there, I've got a wee cone sitting over there that was presented to me by one of the staffs. Yeah. And I shouldn't really give it to you because, you're fixated about it. Look, it's not the end of the world. What we're doing at the moment is messy. Yeah. We're doing a lot in a very quick time frame. Yeah. But the significance of that is it gets our infrastructure up to the right speed. Now, you might just say, oh, it's poor management. Now, I know you're going to say that, so before you do say it, I will say to you, the national average for for freshwater leaking in the system, so that's what you put in that doesn't get to the intender at the end, is 30%. Wellington, 55%, so half the water runs down the street. Us, 17. And that's because we are very proactive in getting that work done.
No, that's not the issue. The issue is how it's done. I mean, there's been 20 jobs around town. It would have been better to condense it down to get these 10 done and then expand out. You've had Gladstone sitting half empty. Where's the other one? There's another one. That Calvin Street sat empty for days the other day. It's not good enough, but it seems to be just mismanaged. There's no leadership from your roading stuff.
We should not be arguing at Christmas time.
All right.
But the bottom line is, the wet weather we've had recently. It has been horrible. It really has been. We've had way too much water, which other places would be glad for, but we have. So our ability to get a lot of that stuff done quickly has not been easy. But we need to get it done, so there needs to be urgency on it. And it's an inconvenience, and I accept that. But they are resealing some of these holes now, and some of the streets are opening up, like the roundabout to Ototara, stuff like that. So we'll get there.
The other thing
You'll thank us for us next year.
And what about Mrs. Meadow? It's been an interesting year for her.
Yeah, look, I've taken the mickey out of her on her spending for a couple of years now, and so I've taken another tack now. Every time she comes downstairs in something that looks quite nice, I say, oh, is that a new top? Knowing full well that she's had it for several years. So I've had to stop doing that now because she has, to her credit, stopped buying around town now, which is, there's probably a retail drop-off that you've been reflecting on. Yeah, I should notify some of the shops that they're going to have a bit of a dip in revenue. But no, it's a good time. And I also need to acknowledge that I wouldn't be where I was today without her input. And she really found it hard in the middle of the year around those codes of conduct. Now, part of that's my ownership, I accept that, but the way it was dealt to was horrible.
And then the way the other media, the mainstream media covered it was just disgraceful.
It was horrible. So she struggled with that, really has.
ODT are the worst. The way they misquotes things or deliberately put it out of context.
I know, terrible.
It's just shocking.
And
the other thing, I guess the big thing for me this year is I've become a granddad. I've got a lovely little granddaughter, Malibu, who's must be 9 weeks today. I think it is 8 to 9 weeks.
So I just need to clarify, given that you're non-alcoholic now, there's no linkage with Malibu, is there?
No.
I just wanted to...
I know.
It's a surfing area in America, isn't it?
That's it. Yes.
It's not that lovely drink that you used to have. But no,
it's really exciting. I mean, it's fantastic being a parent, but it's a next level again, and I'm still trying to help explain it. Being a grandparent. So it's I
can give you some fatherly advice on this. I've got 18 grandchildren, and I think 14 great grandchildren. But it is nice. I mean, I went yesterday to Ototara School, and my grandson, unbeknown to him or us, got an award. And it makes you really proud when you got grandchildren that do these things. It's a different level of family connection.
It is.
Really, really nice.
And that's the Christmas edition of 90 Seconds Plus. Until next year, we'll see you later.